New year, new team. That's usually what they say, but it's the harsh reality for Missouri basketball. These Block M helmets on a Saturday afternoon in Columbia bring back a lot of memories for Mizzou fans, but it's not Mizzou, it's Marceline High School looking for its historic moment this afternoon in the state championship game. It's a place you just can't go without seeing. It's the famous Stockyards. It's got good shops, good eats, and a whole lot of country. Todd, great turnout today. Can you tell me about the general excitement of the fan base with being a holiday week and then also the first bowl game in 3 years for these Tiger fans?
Yeah, they're pretty fired up.
That's right. We have a lot of special coverage coming up. We've even seen some Mizzou players out here with their families really getting excited for the week and what's ahead. Jeff City Jay's defense had a heck of a night. 17 steals to hold Warrensburg under 30 points. Well, this week means a lot for these upperclassmen, Ben. They've missed out on a bowl game the past 2 seasons despite being bowl eligible. As your perspective as a former AD, what does it mean seeing a turnout like this for a bowl game for this program?
Well, I think it's huge.
Ben, the defense is doing everything it said it would. Discipline is what we've seen. The Razorback was full this afternoon for the Battle Line rivalry, but the Mizzou offense proved to be running on empty to end their regular season. The head football coaches at California and Hallsville go way back, and their first game across the sidelines from one another felt like a family reunion. The brotherly love for head coaches Justin Conyers and Seth Womack began over 20 years ago at Westminster College, but so did their competitiveness. On the field,
while we were at school playing, teammates,
and off.
NCAA dynasty.
A video game stoked their competitive fire and dreams of facing off as coaches.
He'll make up some baloney story that he used to beat me at NCAA football on the PlayStation. I always won every time with Iowa. Don't forget that, Seth. 2
best friends who would talk on their college couch about coaching against one another someday on these fields. But it took 20 years to happen because Seth and his family moved to Oregon.
We decided to pick up and head out that way, and so we were there for 8 years.
But the two never lost touch.
You know, during season, it's at least once a week conversations.
Catching up and talking about life.
Common theme was football, of course.
They shared game notes, coaching tips, and everything in between. So when an opportunity arose for Seth to come home,
Justin called me and he said, hey, the California head coach just resigned, and he said, that's a job you need to call their AD tomorrow.
Seth got that job at California High School, knowing that meant he would finally get to play against his best friend like they always talked about.
It was kind of surreal, you know, whenever you found out, man, my guy's really coming back.
Friends reunited, but also competitors reunited.
He made a point to tell me that, you know, if I got the job, he'd be sure to beat us real good. We'll see how that goes Friday.
Hallsville and California battled it out in a physical mud bowl. In the end, Hallsville came out on top, 46-6. So Justin gets the bragging rights this year, but there's no hard feelings between these two.
Hey, Seth, man, one heck of a job, man. I know that you got this program going in the right direction, and if you ever need anything, I'm here to help, buddy, and I know the same from you. Good luck next week, and get a conference championship, bud. Love you.
As for the start of a new Tri-County Conference rivalry, both coaches were clear that this was just game one of many.
It was a blast. On to next year.
Well, Fort Worth is known as being the city of cowboys and culture, and just about 20 minutes from where Mizzou will play in the Armed Forces Bowl tomorrow is a place you just can't go without seeing. It's the famous Stockyards. It's got good shops, good eats, and a whole lot of country. Once a bustling livestock exchange hub just outside of downtown Fort Worth, the Stockyards is now a bustling hub for entertainment. One of the most iconic stops in the district.
When people go to the Stockyards, they come to Billy Bob's as their main event.
Billy Bob's Honky Tonk, the largest honky tonk in the world and where people go to dance, eat, drink, ride the bull, and listen to live country music.
You get a real Texas experience here.
Backstage at Billy Bob on the walls are the logos and signatures of all the artists that have played there.
Alan Jackson, Dwight Yoakam.
Around the district, you can find anything you need to get outfitted in country wear for your night out.
We see it happen all the time. They come in, buy a hat, and they're out. Or they come in, get a pair of boots, and they're wearing them. Well, no, they come here for that.
ML Letty's has been at the corner of Exchange and Main since the 1940s, making custom-fitted boots and more. They've even made boots for President George W. Bush. It may be full of neon lights and attractions, but the Stockyards hasn't lost touch of its history.
It's still Cowtown. We still run the cattle through Exchange Street twice a day.
On the same original bricks of the historic Exchange Street. And then at night, the lights come on.
Incredible. It's beautiful. First time we've been down this time of year. It's great. So we're really enjoying the sights, everything Fort Worth's got to offer.
An experience unlike any other.
Everybody at some point in their life wanted to be a cowboy, and now they have that opportunity to do that here in Fort Worth.
When people come to Fort Worth, if you want good entertainment or you want to get a good cultural feel, then come to Billy Bob's, go see a rodeo.
A place in Fort Worth you just can't afford to miss.
It becomes a destination for people to not only come to Fort Worth to see, but now they come here to stay.
It gives you the true Fort Worth experience.
About a week ago, legendary Mizzou football coach Gary Pinkel was announced for induction into the College Football Hall of Fame. Pinkel took Mizzou football to heights it hadn't seen in decades, but his success is measured differently than, say, a Nick Saban. KMUH's Kayler Smith shows us how Pinkel brought success back to Faurot Field when he began his trek to the Hall of Fame back in 2000.
Our clear-cut #1 choice as the head football coach at the University of Missouri is none other than our new head football coach, Gary Pinkel. Gary?
We could not have envisioned, I don't think at that time, the tremendous amount of success that he was going to have.
He didn't know it, but Mike Alden hired the winningest head coach in Mizzou history that day. In 15 years, Gary Pinkel took one of the worst college football teams in the NCAA to the top of the mountain. 5 division championships, 10 bowl trips, and the nation's #1 ranking in 2007.
And they knock off the second-ranked Kansas Jayhawks.
Gary Pinkel and the Missouri Tigers clinch the SEC East, a second straight trip.
But Pinkel is unique from many other Hall of Fame coaches. It's not a stack of championships that defines Pinkel's career. It's a stack of stories from former players like Michael Egnew who say Coach made them the men they are today.
Coach Pinkel did a good job helping all those guys become men and good men. Lots of good men from those years. And guys coaching in the league, teaching school, there's engineers, there's all kind of stuff that Coach Pinkel helped develop.
The way that he developed a program that focused on what we were doing academically with our kids, how they were growing as young people, the structure of the program, doing it with integrity. And I think all that kind of stuff together really translates into a lot of wins.
But to Pinkel, it took everyone along the way to earn his Hall of Fame honor. Every player, every coach, and every fan who filled the stands here at Faurot Field in his 15 years at Mizzou.
This is all about the people that I've been surrounded with. I've been surrounded by great people my entire life. And I've said that often to people. It's been a blessing.
Coach Pinkel loved football, but he loved his players. You can tell the coaches that really love their players.
And they loved him.
Hugs all around. Players think the world of him.
Which made walking away from coaching even harder.
The most important thing is my players. In Toledo and here at Mizzou.
Pinkel finally hung up his headset after the 2015 season, but his legacy endures.
Coach Pinkel is a Hall of Fame coach because he cared and he loved other people who did good things for him.
I just, want to be respected for building a high-level Power 5 football program. That we did it as good as most anybody.
And now that he's on his way to the Hall of Fame, Pinkel has one more reason to dance. Kayler Smith, KOMU 8 Sports. Welcome back. It's a big weekend around the NFL, and there's already been 2 big upsets in the divisional round. We'll come back to that, but because of yesterday's AFC divisional outcome, the stakes were even higher tonight for the Chiefs as they take on the Buffalo Bills. The winner is guaranteed the home field advantage in the AFC Championship. So the Bills returned for an Arrowhead playoff game looking to avenge their loss in the AFC Championship last year. Bills get in striking distance fast. The Chiefs defense makes 2 stops within 3 yards, but the Bills score on the 4th and goal from the 1. Kansas City goes up on a field goal and they get the ball back, and it's McCole Hardman. He breaks through traffic and busts away for his first career rushing touchdown. But never count out those Josh Allen and the Bills offense. They come back on the first play of the drive with a 75-yard touchdown pass. That gets the game within 2, and we've got a ball game late in the game, folks. Down to just over a minute left in the game. Chiefs down 3. Mahomes gets a short pass to Tyreek Hill, and he takes off. No one to catch him. Chiefs go up by 4 with only a minute left, but the Bills respond. They march down the field and score to take a 3-point lead, leaving only 13 seconds on the clock for Mahomes and the Chiefs. They march down and get the field goal to send it into overtime. Kansas City gets the ball to start overtime, and they move right down along the field, and it's Patrick Mahomes to Travis Kelce for the game-winning touchdown. The Chiefs are headed to their 4th straight AFC title game with this win. So that means the Chiefs will host the Bengals next week in the AFC Championship game. Again, that's at Arrowhead. The Bengals upset the top-seeded Titans yesterday. And on the other side of the NFL, San Francisco pulled off the upset over the Packers on a game-winning field goal. They'll face the Rams in Los Angeles for the NFC title. Mizzou women's basketball has some statement wins in the SEC, but they're looking for their first back-to-back conference win tonight against a solid Texas A&M team. A&M wearing shirts in commemoration of the Hall of Fame coach Pat Summitt. First quarter, Mama Dembele finds Kaya Doro, knocks down the corner 3. Tigers lead 14-7 in the first. Fast forward to the second. The Aggies are rolling. Kayla Wells gets the and one. This capitalizes a 20-2 run by Texas A&M to lead by 11. But here come the Tigers. Dembele kicks it out to Haley Frank, who nails the 3. That was the first bucket for the Tigers in 10 minutes of game play. Third quarter, Aisha Blackwell has the steal and the layup. The buzzer sounds. Mizzou led 57-53, and it was all Mizzou from there. Frank again drains from the corner. She had 28 points as Mizzou gets past Texas A&M tonight, 78-69.
Really proud of our girls. I think, just the resiliency in that second quarter, things got really tough for us and just had some ugly possessions, but just so much respect for them to continue to believe and lean in when things got tough and not point fingers.
What a game for those Tigers and the Chiefs tonight. Coming up on Sports Extra, more breakdown on the Chiefs' big win over the Bills. That's a look at sports.